I did like it, but it was...
Over the top?
There was a lot there.
Yeah. A lot going on. Too much going on. I think that peanut butter bacon one, that might be their best. It's really good. It needs some kind of, though, one other element, like a sriracha element or some kind of a spicy element or something.
The Newt always does good burgers, no matter what.
The Newt's does good burgers. How did you escape the marketing profession? I'm real curious about that because you got a gift there, pal.
Mad Men was just about my life.
I'll tell you what, I never watched that show.
Oh, it was very good.
Every time I see like a clip of it or whatever on Reels or whatever the hell comes on my phone, it's like, that's genius. But if you really think about back then, they were all of the content you received. I mean, they were kind of the best of the best or whatever. Or it's probably because there's nobody else doing it. Now that everyone's doing it, it's like no one's doing it. There's just so many. So when they said like E.F. Hutton, was it when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen? Is that what it was?
Yes, correct.
I mean, some of those old campaigns are just timeless.
They are.
And I don't know that we're better off with, there's an old Clapton song. Here's fucking, is it Player? No, it's not Player. Who sings, It's Magic? Player's Baby Come Back. Shit. Well, it's Pilot. Okay, when Pilot does...
good call.
Ozempic! I don't think that's what they had in mind during the Mad Men era, where you take by the way, that band probably made more money on that Ozempic commercial than they made in their entire music careers.
I'd like to teach the world to sing. Wasn't that developed just for the commercial? Or was that
so?
That's gold.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is back then it would be original content, but now I remember when I heard Bob Seger, Like a Rock.
It hurt.
That's the exact right. I mean, that's the same sensation I got. I felt bad for Bob Seger. That like, what's going on, Bob?
Why?
We'll pitch in. We'll chip in a little bit. I'll go see you live a couple more times.
Chevy doesn't need to use shit
what
like
about
that.
After Midnight? Was that Michelob? Eric Clapton is doing Michelob ads. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of, there's one that I approve of after all this. You know what? I think I'll Stop the World Melt with You, that cheeseburger commercial. I'm on for that. That's good, because those guys weren't making shit either.
Although before the podcast started, we were talking about CH Sugar, and Jim corrected me because I said...
Sorry. I thought it was C&H.
I thought that's what I said.
You said CH, but I said...
But we were talking about the song. I said it's Seasoned in the Sun, and Jim goes, Growing in the Sun. But that was an original catchy tune.
Yeah. So
we remember.
With all of the original content creators, and there's some fabulous ones out there, why are all of our commercials contain original music?
Why are there no original movies anymore?
Same. Like Son of the Blob is coming out this summer, I heard. The Bride of Blob.
I mean, Marvel was fine at the beginning, but after the 110th movie...
Let's get Think Drink Disney on soon and talk about that. The recycling of movies and who's responsible, where it started. We won't get a word in edgewise, but it'll be probably our highest rated podcast episode.
I did say
the reason I say that is because Matt and Lance will just run circles around us with their movie knowledge.
Oh, definitely. But I did say 110, and we, I think, put out 111 today.
Who's got 110?
I said 110 Marvel movies.
Oh.
And I was trying to throw us a bone about we have 111 episodes.
You promised me after we get done with this, you'd throw me a bone. Were you just kidding about that too?
We're the Ascertainers. I'm Mark, and my partner over here is Jim.
I'm Jim. Mark and I made this podcast together, both of us, not just Mark, even though it was just Mark. I'm getting better.
Damn it.
I'm getting better. I'm not saying it's your podcast, but it's hard for me to do that because this is all your all of your dreams have come to fruition. I know you're trying to make that sound dirty, and it does if you slow it down, but I'm just glad that you asked me to be a willing participant with you, and that is what we settled on. And so here we are together.
Good, it's on tape.
It's Friday. It's Mother's Day weekend. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to bring up early Saturday morning, I get a text from my sister Karen, and I want to thank her about that she said, "What, no episode this week?"
Wow, because one of us failed to do the one thing they're supposed to do.
Right, I forgot to hit the publish button on the platform.
So she literally noticed. See, I've noticed it but it's usually because I have to restart the app that I listen to it on.
No,
so
she was
Saturday morning will hit. I'm like, hey, where's the episode? And I realize it's there, but my phone isn't.
She was waiting to listen to it.
Really?
She's listened to every episode.
Stop.
She was waiting for it.
Karen, you say?
Karen, my
Hi,
oldest.
Karen, I think we met once. At Mark's old house. And you seem swell all of a sudden because you're a listener. You probably were swell before, too. But why don't you come on the podcast, Karen, since I know you're listening? I'll just ask you directly.
Because she did meet you.
Oh, that's why she won't come on?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, shoot. Would have been nice to meet you, but I'm sorry that you know who I am, what I am, and everything about me. Would you, I know, I barely know her, but would Renee and Karen ever want to come on at the same time?
Would you be here or it'd just be us three?
I could sit that one out, sure.
Oh, then they'll definitely be on.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, the one that so Mark was nice enough around the holidays when we had I guess it was, we call it my last name, Christmas, and we had basically my whole side of the family over. I think we were missing one person out of all the spouses and nieces and nephews and all that kind
Your
of stuff.
last name, Christmas?
I almost said what we call it. It's like either Smith Christmas or Johnson Christmas, and I'm Johnson. You doesn't have to call him Johnson. By the way, that joke gets my family riled. I mean, from a King of the Hill version of, I forget the fucking guy's name even, but what does that mean? It means he doesn't have to call him Johnson. That's what it means. Anyhow, I thought, well, you know what? I've got this. It's the event was taking place at my house, and I've got this recording set up here, and I've got a mom who's 88 years old and turned 89 in June. And I thought, you know what? I think we would regret if we didn't capture some audio of her. So we put together these little groups. Like one group was her great grandkids, and then the other group was the grandkids. And Mark was this is a solid. This is like one of those solids that you can't really even sum up. You can't quantify this. This was just a dude move all the way. But Mark's like, hey, I will host this, I will run the board and I will get the conversation started and keep it moving and all that stuff. And you should do that with your family. But yeah, I think that'd be fun. I really would like to. I'm not going to stop hounding you until we get your mom down here. I think that would be a blast. Let's take the podcast to her.
We could.
Yeah. I think Mark, honestly, I'm at that point where it's like, what do you want to regret? Do you want to regret doing something or not doing something? And I don't want to regret triple negative.
I bet she has a cheap ass table like this that we can hook the stuff up to.
I paid $60 for this table. We're set up right now as an 8-foot banquet table from one of the big clubs. I think it's Planet Fitness.
And it's not a banquet table from Camelot either, if you're thinking that.
That's how you pronounce that? Oh, that makes more sense. I thought that movie was crap. I was all suited up and waited until nobody was home.
Oh, you're terrible.
Is it even spelled like that? I feel like it is.
There's another thing I want to bring up from the last episode. Is that okay?
Hey, it's our podcast. Go ahead.
I said Cliff Notes because I never used them, but you corrected and
It's Cliff's Notes, isn't it?
right because you used them all the
I
time.
never used them. I didn't give a shit enough to even use Cliff's Notes. I did wild ass guessing notes.
I had no idea it was Cliff's Notes.
I know. It's well, Mark, hang out with me a little longer. You'll get smarter by listening to a dumb guy. There you go. That should be our slogan. You know what I would do? To save money, I would buy used books. And I just assumed that the person that owned the book before me knew what the fuck they were doing.
Knew how to outline?
No, when they were highlighting. I figured I'd just read the
yeah.
highlighted part. What if, apparently I bought used books from people that weren't very good at those classes because I didn't do very well in those classes. I don't test well, Mark.
You still have to read the highlighted parts.
Oh, I would put my hand on them and I thought it was like the modern phone. I was so far ahead of my time, but the book wasn't.
Osmosis, you just slept on it and go, oh, it'll seep into my head.
Is that what osmosis is? I got taught osmosis is when you throw this is Nancy McKay. I hope she's still around, but she might not be. Just a saint of a woman. So Nancy McKay, and I'll say this was one of the most challenging times of my life because Nancy McKay went to my church and was friends with my mom and dad and also had a couple of daughters that my buddy Scott N., who was in this class with me, fancied the younger one. And so I was always like, I hope Mrs. McKay never finds out about this. We'll use her last name because she's a teacher. That's how they're known, right? I mean,
the daughters are upset, but go ahead.
Cindy. That's not a real name as far as you know. So anyhow, the first day of this class, it was physics. And because there was no lab, we had chemistry. That was a nightmare. Anyway, it was Paul L., Scott N., Andy W., Ange, and myself. And like 5 minutes in, she goes, all right, 4 quarters. So I got the front. I was like stage left. Paul L. was stage right. And then Ange and Scott N. were in the back. So every time the teacher would talk and would get like toward the front and in between myself and Paul L., like we're sitting right now, he would do the Chevy Chase bit where he's like kind of talking, like mimicking what she was saying. And I would have to try to not laugh during that. And she was not very fun when she got her mad. So we made sure not to push her too far, but that was very challenging. But she taught me osmosis, long story. And she said it's like when you put a frozen concentrated orange juice into a swimming pool, and as it dissipates, it becomes part of the pool as the pool becomes part of it. Is that what osmosis is? Because I wasn't very good at school. I've been using that as my whole premise. And if I got to change it now, it seems late. It really does.
I mean, that would work.
How would you describe osmosis there, fucking senator?
It's like a leak through a membrane.
Oh.
I thought. We can look that up.
In this case, the membrane would be...
Your brain.
These nuts.
Remember, membrane. I was pointing to my head that whole time.
It looked like he was talking to a chimpanzee. Thanks, Mark. All right, I get it now. Oh, it's about the membrane. Insane in the brain. All right. Well, that's fun. New feature burger at Newt's. It's the Buffalo... what is it called? I should have got the description of it. It was the most burger I've ever had, meaning it had the most going on.
It was like a Dagwood sandwich.
Yeah, it's very insensitive to the dags. You like dags? Yeah, I like dags. What movie? Snatch.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Have you never seen the movie? If you've never seen the movie Snatch, check it out. That's when they're the mom, Tommy's, no, not Tommy. What was Brad Pitt's name?
I can't remember.
Sonny or whatever.
Yeah.
His mom was inviting, Brad Pitt was inviting the one guy, Tommy, into the camper or the caravan.
Caravan.
And he goes, "You like dogs?" He goes, "I like dogs." He goes, "Yeah, dogs. You like dogs?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I love dogs." You're talking about dogs. I guess only people from like Pennsylvania call them dogs. Sorry, Pennsylvania listener. We don't got one. Let's find states where we don't got a listener. Just hammer them. Oh yeah, Utah, talking to you.
But you don't understand a
Utah's
word
such a nice state.
that Brad Pitt is.
Yes, that's part of his charm. You don't understand what he's saying, but you kind of know what he's saying. Better like a blue.
It's kind of like me on this podcast.
Mark, you carry this podcast. So I know why your knees are shot and your back hurts all the time. It's because of this podcast, carrying my ass around. And I appreciate it. I just want to let you know, I appreciate it.
Why are you smiling and laughing over there?
Love. And then I'm going to pick up my B-52s record and say the B-52s. We were at the corporate tonight, the Newts. Actually, we just call it Newts. Everybody else does too. And it was delicious. We hung out with an old neighbor to Mark, a current neighbor to me, Bruce W., and Jenny, and Sarah. I guess we haven't seen her. I haven't seen her in a couple weeks, I feel like. Saw Kayla, OG Kayla, and the two the busboy fellas that we befriended. Because my first job ever was a busboy, so I was grease the busboys. Anyhow, they have a new burger. It's the Buffalo something smash burger. So it's got 2 patties. It's got it's basically the San Diego smash burger. I just sound like it was from Pittsburgh, Yins. It's the San Diego smash burger plus blue cheese plus buffalo sauce. I think that's accurate. Oh, and those big onions, whatever the fried onion things are, like going on, like on the green beans at Thanksgiving.
And pickles and tomato.
That's what's also on the San Diego smash. So
And
yeah,
lettuce?
it's good. And lettuce. Yeah. Yeah, it was good luck. Go there, order it, give yourself enough time, stretch out, have a nice cold beer, fresh pop popcorn, that juicy burger, or one of 19 or so others. And if you decide to dip into the pull tab box, we wish you luck. You're helping out the Eastwood Hockey Association.
I did eat the burger as Mr. Pip would do.
I knife and forked my, I call it Costanza Inc. because he ultimately wound up doing it.
Yeah.
You ate the whole burger that way, or did you?
The whole burger that way.
Okay. I got through the first. Well, when I tried to pick up the second part, the bottom part, the bun had kind of migrated. I think it was moving on its own. It's delicious though. But Cory gave me a nice hard time. There was one time when I said something very awkward to Cory, and that was probably good 2 years ago. And then tonight he threw me a little barb with it, which again very deserved because it was so awkward what I had said. So mazel tov, Cor, you got me. I not that I'm trying to run from it because I own any stupid thing I say. I'm very accountable. I feel I'm very accountable. And if I say I feel bad, I really feel bad. So anyway, he kind of threw me I guess we kid because we care, right, Mark? I hope.
In all honesty, you got a call from work and you went outside.
Oh, is that you're doing?
And Cory came up and he said, well, where's your partner? And podcast partner, people.
Stop.
And
You're gonna find out.
said he's on the call for his real job. And Cory, it didn't take him more than a millisecond and he started laughing.
He laughed. Well,
So he remembers that.
of course he does.
And he
It's
goes,
a very dark time.
when he comes back in, I am going to hammer him for it.
That's awesome. Hey, I'll tell you what. That's it's a lifetime appreciation for him, even talking to me after that, and it's also a lifetime hall pass to just figure out when you want to put the needle in and how deep you want to put it. Ooh, sexy. So, what do we know about Newts? What did we learn tonight from Newts, Mark?
You make very inappropriate statements.
Go
most
to
of the time.
Newts.
Oh, go to the Newts.
And if you're lucky, you'll see me and I'll say something inappropriate to you. Hey, now.
Hey, now.
This is a topicless episode, if you haven't figured that out by now. And, however, I have some things. Do you have any errors and omissions? I have no, I was perfect, like always.
I have so many errors
I'm just going to do this until you say something about me spinning this paper around.
I just not going to bring them up. But before we go into anything, because you brought this band up long time ago.
Amyl the Sniffers? Oh, that's who I saw live this week, by the way. Thanks for asking.
I'm not going to ask. But I was listening to Sirius XM Deep Cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to figure out who they were before I would look at it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love doing that. I live for that.
It was like the old radio game.
Yes.
I heard one and I thought, oh, this kind of sounds like the Go-Go's, but it was Blondie.
Mm.
They have the same similar sound on some songs.
I think
not all the way through.
I think
but
Blondie would be more offended by that association than the Go-Go's would.
Oh, definitely. There was another band that I just could not identify.
What was the station?
Deep Cuts on.
There's a station called Deep Cuts. Cool. Well, did you figure it out, or did you have to look?
I had to look.
What do you think I would know it?
Yes, because you've mentioned the band before, I believe.
Give me a hint of some sort.
Who's Behind the Door is the song.
Oh,
it's an animal.
It's Zebra. I can hear it in my head, but because it was so recent, because we brought up Zebra somehow in this podcast.
You did.
Yeah, because
and I had no idea what you were talking about, but I know that song.
I just know they had a big hit. The recall, though, on that one is like so crystal clear versus like a lot of songs out there where it's like, yeah, I think I remember that one. No, that's the...
It was funny. I was listening to the beginning and I thought, oh, kind of has that Led Zeppelin sound to it.
The beginning sounds like about 34 different bands. But
well, the whole song does.
Yeah.
Then I looked it up. They were a Led Zeppelin cover band at the beginning.
Okay.
If you haven't heard Zebra, like me,
yeah, I'm going to catch them on tour before they die, but, it's not...
I don't even think they're together anymore.
Well, no, they're very old. And by the way, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to a funeral tomorrow of somebody younger than us. That's no good. So anyway, I got asked by a guy, Troy G, who's a member at First Avenue is the... Anyone who's ever seen the movie Purple Rain knows what First Avenue is, because that was the bar that most of the live performances were held at, right?
How'd the song go?
Purple Rain, Purple Rain.
Sing it, though.
I saw a Family Guy clip, and they said something, and they didn't capitalize on it. I thought, how am I figuring out the joke, and Family Guy didn't exploit it? It had to do with you could take off your hat and jacket, and if I ever did that, I'd probably go to jail. Sorry.
Maybe they thought it was such a softball that they just
too easy.
Yeah.
So I'm dumb and they're smart. That's got to be it. But I do remember there was also one where it was like, I feel like it was like Lois, the mom, was at like a Girls Gone Wild type event, and it was like, or Meg, vice versa. It was just those two, Meg and Lois, and somebody goes, "What do you think? Do you want my jacket on or jacket off?" And the whole audience preferred the latter. I'll just say, see, we're highbrow. I'm not going to say what those people said about that jacket off. Anyway, but in unison, in repetition.
You did it there, though.
Did I?
Yes.
I'm not to be trusted. Anyway, so guy that I know, friends of friends kind of a thing, but I had a cool conversation with him a couple of years ago while we were both getting our oil changed at an oil change place. Just, Mark, I know how you think. But anyway, so Troy and I have been to a show before. It was fun. And then a couple of years went by and I thought, ooh, maybe I said something or, And then he called me or texted me this week, says, "Hey, do you want to go see a show with me? It's Amyl and the Sniffers." I'm like, where have I heard that recently? It turns out a couple of episodes when Alex and Sarah were on, Sarah was talking about how that's her hot band right now. Very into it.
Wow.
It's on this. If we go back, I think it'd probably be the comedy movies one, I think, because that's the only one she's ever been on. And, or maybe we were talking about it off air, but either way, he goes, it's Amyl the Sniffers, and they're great. He goes, I'm so excited. He goes, I love them. They're really high energy. You want to come? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And the first thought is like, that's not a normal Wednesday night or whatever the hell it was. And then I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen a live band in a long time. So I went. The warm-up band is who I want to talk about. Amyl and the Sniffers does not need my support because they are a very well-established band. And they were fun as hell. And your boy was on the floor and got rocked around a little bit because there was a pretty raucous little, I wouldn't say it was full-on moshing, and there was only a few body surfers, and they were they need full-length mirrors, these body surfers, because they were riding low.
What was the average age?
Well, that's a great question. It was an all-ages show, but I didn't see anyone under 20 there. So it wasn't like there was a lot of like little kids or anything like that. I would say the average age was like 30.
Mm.
I mean, honestly, because I mean, think about it. Alex was there, and I ran into like 4 of his friends, and not expecting that at all. And then there was a lot of old people there. There was a lot of like younger. I would say that punk rock still has kind of a, and this is observational, this isn't judgmental, kind of a counterculture kind of a thing. It's like if you don't fit in, then this was your show, because there were a lot of I'll just say piercings, and even though I have no problem with piercings, so this is going to be bad. This is going to sound horrible. This again is observational, but there were the people that would like wear the fishnets, the rip, like an old punk rock, like legit punks, and punks were counterculture, and they didn't want to fit in, and they didn't fit in, and all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of the, like if you just looked at the crowd, that's what you would think. But all the people I talked to were just regular ass people, which is probably what punks always have been. There was no mad punks, no, headbutt you, because you know who Donald Trump is or something like that.
I understand what you're saying, because it goes back to when I met
Mad Dog Vachon?
No, Alice Cooper.
Oh,
and it was like talking to my dad. I mean, he was so not what you expect.
And you didn't talk any music, did you?
No, talk golf.
And that's why you got that you earned that conversation by not being a fan. You were just a guy.
But I am a fan.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is that the last thing he wants to talk about is, what's No More Mr. Nice Guy about? What's the deal? But he golfed, right? You know a little bit about him.
Well, he was sitting in first class, and he was waiting to watch his golf clubs come out of the cargo hold.
Oh, he literally is like making sure they weren't getting
kicked
around or whatever? What a dick. Oh, sorry. I mean, but he was cool, you say.
Very cool. God, he was
once
the
his
nicest
clubs
guy.
came out, it was like, gotta go by.
No.
Shoved you down?
He forgot about watching for him.
So he wasn't feeling mean?
I see that, what you're doing.
That's what I do, Mark. We're a music podcast. I can't let you talk about your job all the time. By the way, Mark gave me shit because I had to take a phone call between his house and the bar, which takes about 3 minutes.
But it was on Ascertainer time.
We're on Ascertainer's time, buddy. And I'm like, hey, in order for the Ascertainers to be hosted in my basement, I got to make my house payment. Yes, I have a house payment after 25 years of living here. And I'll have it for a little while longer, too. Don't ask me for financial advice. I have figured it out since, but I made some bad decisions earlier.
Oh, I thought your name was E.F. Hutton.
In fact, if you want to know how not to invest in such, email us at theascertainers@gmail.com. We used to have Fidelity Investments at TheAscertainers. They didn't like. They thought that was a bad idea, and we did too. So anyhow, I want to talk about the new Pope. Super bad. You know why?
Mention that band.
Oh, shit. Thanks, Mark, for helping me out. The name of the band is The New Pope. So coincidental, because the next day we had a new Pope. The band, the warm-up band, so it's Amyl and the Sniffers. Amyl is like amyl nitrate and the Sniffers. And it's not what you think. I mean, you hear that band, you're like, what the heck? It's a girl that is like a punk rock aerobics instructor wearing the minimal clothing, just running her ass off, super entertaining, super high energy, probably the best crowd engagement I've ever seen from a lead singer, honestly. And I've seen a couple. They were great. They were just punk rock, but not like political necessarily. I mean, there was a few. It was hard to hear the dialogue. We were very close, so it was a little hard to hear like spoken, like when she was talking exactly what. And she's from Australia, so they don't even speak English. So that was, difficult for me to make out.
Watching her videos, because I did watch several of the videos. She's an entertainer. She really.
She par excellence. Yeah. So the warm-up band was out of Philadelphia, and they were called Sheer Mag. And they are a 5-piece, so they got 2 guitars, bass, drum, and then a powerhouse singer. Both bands were female fronted, if that matters, but I think it's descriptive. But I'll find my favorite. I looked at a couple Steel Mag videos going into the show just so I kind of, see what they're like and that kind of stuff. And I knew I'd like them. Both bands were very bass forward in terms of the bassist didn't just sit in the mix. The bassist was, out there. The bassist, I'm a slut for a good bassist. Ooh, that's bad.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's why we're friends, Mark. Totally. Can't look at you. But I'll find but anyway, the videos I saw, I'm like, oh, I think I'll like this band. But both of these bands, between what I saw in the videos and what I saw live, it was about the most pronounced, improvement seeing them live. As what I'm saying is, golly, fuck, I'm having a tough time here. The videos don't do them any justice. Great live bands, really high energy, everything held up live, as opposed to sometimes people are a mess live. They're a little off, timing wise or whatever. And I'll say this: the vocalist for Steel Mag. If you ever hear this, what's up? I'm Jim, and I think you looked at me. I think you winked at me, but you were wearing sunglasses, so I just assumed you were winking at me the whole time, even when you were facing the drummer. But anyway, call me. No, I'm kidding. She was just. I think that I got hints of. See, I'm not going to say Stone Fruit because I want to, but no. I got hints of Bon Scott and Brian Johnson. How about that?
Wow.
In terms of the serious range, had growl, had clean, had, I don't know what octaves are, but I'm sure she had a couple of those. I hope that's not a body part, but no, Steel Mag, check them out. Steel is spelled, by the way. Oh, sheer. Hey, don't listen to anything I just said. Sheer Mag. I went from I said Steel Mag. I'm thinking about that movie. That's what I call Steel Magnolias when I'm in a hurry. Steel Mag. But this is Sheer Mag. SHEERMAG. That S looks like an F, by the way, but there's no way that is, because I know what they call themselves. Anyway, go check them out, and I'll post a thing in the thing. I want to ask a question about the new Pope. He gave his first thing yesterday. He got elected Pope, and then right away, there's not a training. There's not a thing where he's got to go, to the home office and get his merch, get his shirts and stuff like that. Or
right, you do this is where.
Yeah, here's some of the people we've been working with. Here's some of the policies. We're going to spend a little time on some of them that most companies don't have to. But anyway, but he's they just go right in and you're just Pope.
Their HR department must be.
I'm going to say lax at best. I'm going to say, I think they totally misread some of those policies. No, those are the don'ts. Oh my gosh, we have to hold that one again. We can't do that one online anymore. We have to literally.
Jim.
I don't want to get violating. I'm not afraid of dying.
Oh,
you all right there?
I am.
That chair, the most sturdy chair.
I was so worried about the lightning strike that I almost
maybe
fell
it
on
hit
my
you.
chair.
Maybe it missed me because I did duck a little. But yeah. Also, I'll post a thing in the chat about Jim Gaffigan. You're familiar with his work? He's a comedian, they say.
Hot Pockets.
Yeah, he does a thing about the Pope. He goes, can you imagine the Pope when he's a kid? He's out there in his yard, laying there, looking up at the sky. Hey, everybody, here he comes. The leader of the free world, the Pope. And he's doing what a kid would do if he was being a third baseman or whatever. It's fucking outrageous. So stop listening to this right now. You've already listened long. Do yourself a favor. Stop and go click on the Jim Gaffigan Pope deal. Very funny. In my opinion. Mark had a good one. I'll post. Mark sent me 2 videos this week, and one of them was a good one. But it was the guy from Police Academy, Michael Richards. That's not his name. That's Kramer.
Winslow.
Michael Winslow, doing Whole Lot of Love with an acoustic guitar player. And you would think there was a full band in front of you, right?
It was amazing.
I also have a question about, and I know where our episode is kind of running deep here. You also sent me the Monty Python, what's that on the television? It's two old ladies watching TV, and somebody goes, what's that on the television? And the other one says, it looks like a penguin.
It's a penguin.
There was a penguin on top of the TV. And of course, what they're referring to is what's playing on the TV. Does Monty Python also have an albatross bit too?
They do.
Different though. There's no albatross would fill up a lot of that
albatross.
Room.
Get your albatross.
No, that's it. Here, I'm going to ask you a controversial question, and maybe we can do this for next week or next episode. And that is, what was your, between the Carol Burnett show and Monty Python, which was more entertaining? Is that as pithy as I think it is? Or as difficult of a thing? Because Mark's scratching his chin right now, like a guy whose chin itches.
Completely different type of show, but I would...
Oh, I get what you just did there.
Yeah. Now for something completely different.
And I'm just glad we had this time together, Mark. But what I'm saying is, I think that they were both excellent. But what do you pull more of enjoyment from as a youth? Because they were about the same era, yeah?
Yes. I would say pre-Tim Conway. Well, I wouldn't say, but I would ask. Pre-Tim Conway?
Let's not even talk about it without Tim Conway.
Then that would be even tougher decision. I would say Carol Burnett.
I think I'm with you. Monty Python, though, we were spoiled. Honestly, if those two shows were on during the same era, and also there was nothing else on. So more of this, hey, I might be onto something here.
One was on PBS and one was on CBS.
So no one will ever be able to see the one on PBS anymore because they're going to go off the air.
Monty Python would never have been aired on regular television.
True, because it was, if you really think about PBS, there's not a lot of American shows other than educational programming. It's almost all English shows. And it's like, well, let's see. I guess that makes sense because we're making the American shows. Us, whatever you call us, shit people from America.
But one time I was watching Monty Python and my mom came into the room, sat down, and she was watching it with me, and she
did not find it funny?
She had no idea what was going on. She just like...
But did she find it funny?
Oh, hell no. Well, you don't know what's going on. And she goes, that doesn't make sense. A little hedgehog popping up its head going, Dinsdale, Dinsdale.
Is your mom a very literal person?
No, but I don't think anybody from that generation would have gotten Monty Python humor.
I get it. British humor is kind of its own acquired taste, I guess.
Funny walks.
The Institute of Funny Walks?
Yeah. I mean, that was idiotic.
It's hilarious, though. But she didn't get it. But you know who liked that in my little, odd sports that I participate, non-revenue sports that I participated in? Those guys, the theater guys that would love that. The jocks were like, fuck is that? I mean, they had no time for it.
Again, that's a slam on me.
I liked it.
You were definitely not a jock. You were a nerd.
Wow, do you feel better?
I do.
I was totally not a nerd. I tell myself every day. You can ask two guys, and they'll tell you I was totally not a nerd, and neither were they, because they were.
And they would tell two guys, and so on and so on.
Yes. Oh, if they only tell two guys, my God, I'd be out of this mess. I'd be out of this podcast in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I don't think I was a nerd. I could fit in a lot of groups. I too, Mark, was in the homecoming court, and this is for you, Cory. But I went to a large high school. How many people in your graduating class?
1,007.
Seriously, wow, that's a lot.
No, 149-ish.
Okay, well, I was 602, so let's do the math here on who's cooler. Carry the 2, divide by pi.
But I won at 3 different schools.
Let's see, that's because you got kicked out of a lot of. You had so many 12th grades that you were also Genius. Good. You were smart to buy the tux. Yeah, so you wouldn't have to keep renting it. So, anyway, how do we get on this? Me being cool or not in high school, I was totally cool. I ran cross country.
Well, you were talking about Monty Python.
I ran cross country. I already told you that.
And the jocks hated, which was very...
I think what I'm saying is that I hung out with some guys that there were certain groups that were more, that thought Monty Python was funnier than other groups. And I think everybody don't like Carol Burnett. So maybe that helps answer the original question that was posed, is I think Carol Burnett is more widely accepted as hilarious.
The Prisoner. Did you ever watch that?
I'm not familiar.
It was
Was that
like a James Bond agent.
Was it the Hamburglar? Or was that Big Bird? What are you talking about? A separate show or somebody on Sesame Street? I know the Hamburglar was.
Wow.
I always looked up at the Hamburglar. You just...
So you're not a jock.
Why did he
even the
steal?
nerds kicked you out.
He worked for McDonald's. He could have got free hamburgers. Why steal, man?
Oh, he got let go because of HR. Kicked him out.
HR, there they are again. I corrected HR this week at work. I hope they don't hang for that. The new handbook came out, and I read it. It's like 54 pages. I'm like, and there was a reference to an old, like, HR partner that we used to work with. I go, I have notes. Here's what the email said. Read the handbook. It said something like, couldn't put it down, and then I had to, like, do the semicolon and the thing, and it automatically makes a smiley face. That's the thing. I didn't know that. And then I said, you might want to know that I did notice that the old partner was in there. And she's like, she gave me a noted. I will fix that at the next revision.
So at your next sit down, right, you have like a good,
like a chit.
Yeah.
I have hand, as George Costanza would say. I have hand. I don't like those meetings. I got a few things. I don't think there's anything that can't wait. I curled up with a good book. It just sounds uncomfortable as hell. You curled up. It sounds like something that, like a worm would do if he was on hot pavement. It's like, I can't wait to go home and curl up with a good book. Fuck. Why? That's all.
Get a hold of us at TheAscertainers at gmail.com.
Yeah. Totally.
And like us on the Facebook.
Do what Mark
Share
says.
us with a friend.
Just do what Mark says. Don't be a hero. It's better for everybody, including me. Thanks for listening, because you know what? We appreciate it.
We do.
That's all there is to it. And if you can make us better or give us a suggestion, like Mark said, please email us. And and for the people that like the radio game, we are on the cusp. We are in the building phases of making a small kind of a foundation type situation where Mark and I are going to put a little more than $1 a week in, and we're trying to figure out, do we do 2 organizations? Do we do one full time and then we float the other? But we're going to try to do some good, other than hopefully giving you about 45 minutes of enjoyment every week. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.